everyone. You are listening to the Bootylicious Bootcamp mini workshop. Welcome to everyone in store and everyone live. I'm Lindsay, my pronouns are she, her, and I'm going to be leading the workshop today. If you have any questions, we will be having a Q&A at the end, but if you have any questions throughout, feel free to interrupt me. And make sure to stay until the end because there's going to be a 10% off discount code that you can use in-store and online until the end of the weekend at midnight. And just a side note, we have a ticketed workshop at the Moxie called Bite Your Ass. That's going to be a deeper dive into what we talk about today. That's going to be a week from today, so make sure to get all signed up for that. Okay, so let's get started. Regardless of genitals, there's a huge amount of variety in toys and gadgets available for anal pleasure, from simple butt plugs to more high-end prostate stimulators. So if you're looking to buy a toy but aren't sure where to begin or even how to use one, you're in the right place. So we're going to start out with, so you're interested in anal pleasure. We'll talk about who can benefit, advantages for people with prostates and people with vaginas, and how anal stimulation can enhance your pleasure. Then we'll move on to how to ask for anal play. Maybe you're interested and don't know how to ask your partner. We'll talk about some stigma around butt play and history. And then we'll finish off with, so you're ready to explore. We'll talk about playing with yourself, safety, cleaning practices, and toys. Okay, so who can benefit? Anal orgasms can be just as intense as genital orgasms because the anus is packed with loads of sensitive nerve endings. Stimulating different nerves in your body helps keep your sex life fresh and helps you learn more about yourself and your own preferences. For cisgender women and people assigned female at birth, anal stimulation can hit two hot spots, the G-spot and the A-spot. The G-spot, which is on the front wall of the vagina, and the A-spot, which is also on the front wall of the vagina, but closer to the cervix, are both reachable through anal penetration or stimulation with a toy through the very thin vaginal wall. Like the prostate, these spots have the potential to produce full-body orgasms. Rubbing them just right may even lead to squirting in the female ejaculation. Dual stimulation, by inserting either a toy or body part into both the vagina and butt, can provide a feeling of fullness that can lead to a more powerful orgasm. There's no better way to spice up foreplay than with a foreplay-friendly butt plug or vibrator. That extra sensation in your butt will jumpstart your libido, and they're two of the most beginner-friendly toys. And then in cisgender men and people assigned male at birth, butt play can stimulate the prostate and lead to an orgasm. Prostate orgasms are intense enough to send waves of pleasure from head to toe. The prostate is a walnut-sized gland tucked roughly 2 to 3 inches inside the anus between the bladder and the rectum. Its main function is to produce fluid that is expelled as part of semen during ejaculation. The prostate is also surrounded by thousands of nerve endings that feel really good when stimulated, and some people can even ejaculate from prostate stimulation alone. This can be stimulated using a butt plug, manual stimulation, or a prostate massager, for example. So prostate massagers are typically going to be curved to target the prostate. You can see with the one here, it's going to have this special curve to it specifically to hit the prostate. They're typically going to be smaller and more discreet compared to other toys. And some modern prostate massagers as well, such as this one, do vibrate and have moving parts that can lead to a full body prostate orgasm. So next up, asking for it. Communication is super key throughout this whole process, just like anything. Partners should feel comfortable expressing their desires, limits, and any sensations they experience, including what they enjoy. Asking for what you want and setting boundaries helps build trust and intimacy in your partnership. When you and your significant other are on neutral ground, always bring these things up before getting started or before going into the bedroom or wherever you're going to be going. You can use the following formula. Introduce an idea, explain why you're intrigued, and then ask a question. An example would be, I recently heard about butt plugs, and I think it could be really hot to explore together. What do you think? If this is a topic that you want to hear more about too, our mini workshop last month was on consent, and there's a lot of talk about these types of conversations. So if you want to hear more about it, that's a great resource, and that is up on our Instagram. Remember, patience and persistence are essential because it could take several attempts to experience an anal orgasm. Also remember that your partner wants to make you feel good and wants to make you have an orgasm, so expressing what you need can only help to improve the experience. So now we're going to dive into a little bit of history. So anal sex has long been demonized, dating back to religious texts. But even prior to those texts being written, cultures including the Romans and Greeks frequently had both homosexual and heterosexual anal sex anyways, and it has been represented in art going back thousands of years, including in Asia, South America, and Europe. The moral stigma has persisted anyways, and anal sex has been associated with gay men, heavily linking the taboo with homophobia. Laws against sodomy were originally also designed to prohibit any sex that was not specifically for procreation, and so included crimes such as having sex outside of marriage and bestiality. But in the late 1960s, the laws began to be used specifically to target gay people as an excuse for discrimination when gay rights progress was just starting to be made. The laws were used to stop LGBTQ+ people from raising children, to fire them or refuse them jobs, and generally discriminate against them and silence their voices. Right now, there are 12 states in the US that still have sodomy laws on the books, and the reason for this is strictly linked to homophobia, with no mention of anal sex between heterosexual couples mentioned, except for in 2 of those 12 states. In 2003, the Supreme Court ruled that sodomy laws were unconstitutional. However, they remained on the books in those 12 states, with between 6,600 and 21,600 people arrested between the years of 1946 and 1961 for non-conformed gender or sexual behaviors. With sodomy laws on the books and anal sex considered something that only homosexual couples do, the government has helped individuals believe that anal sex is wrong or taboo to engage in. Regardless of all of this, there is nothing wrong with anal sex, and anal sex is for everyone. All statistics are even showing that people of all demographics and genders and sexualities are experimenting more and more with butt play. And when we take a step back and see that the stigma against anal pleasure comes not from fact, but instead from the laws meant to discriminate and oppress queer people, we're able to let everyone experience what butt play does have to offer. So now we're going to dive into You're Ready to Explore. So achieving an anal orgasm involves understanding both your body and the techniques that can help with anal stimulation. I always recommend starting with exploring with yourself. Explore with yourself before ever bringing a partner into the mix. This can involve practicing with a butt plug or vibrator to determine what type of stimulation works for you. You might prefer penetration, like inserting a finger or a butt plug. Maybe you don't like feeling anything being inserted, but a vibrator around the anal opening is pleasurable. In terms of butt plugs, they're one of the best toys to start out because they come in a wide variety of sizes, materials, and styles. They usually feature a flared base and a tapered tip for easy insertion because our butt does tend to like to get things sucked up into them. So if there's not something stopping them, that can happen. So we always want to make sure that they have that type of shape to them. So we have this graduated set of plugs here. It comes with 3 plugs. And they have that tapered tip at the top for easy insertion and the flared base so that they're going to stay in place. And then leaving a plug in during masturbation or sex also provides an increased feeling of fullness. And for those with prostates, they can stimulate the prostate. And for those with vaginas, there's access to the G-spot wall and the G-spot. Also, when having penis to vagina sex, if the person with the vagina has a plug in, the person with the penis will have added sensation. So for example, we have the Tantus ripple here that you can imagine if this was going to be inside the butt of the person with the vagina, their partner is going to feel these bulbs and have that increased sensation. And then they can also be used to prepare your butt for bigger toys. And timing is everything. Removing them while you're orgasming can strengthen your orgasm. And if you're kind of past the beginner-friendly toys that I just showed, we do have some more advanced things as well. So we have the Fuse Pleasure Plug 4, which is right here. It's going to have a much larger bulb and less tapered of a tip. So it's going to be more intermediate. And then we also have the Enjoy stainless steel plugs, like you can see here, which are made of stainless steel, obviously. They're going to be more intermediate because they have pretty significant weight on them, so you're definitely not going to forget that they're there. And you have that added sensation of a little bit of temperature play as well. So those are really great. And okay, moving on to safety and cleaning practices. So starting out relaxed is really important, and make sure to ensure ample lubrication because those are key to making the experience comfortable and pleasurable. During all forms of butt play, toys or not, lube should be used. The butt does not produce any natural lubrication, so for a safe and comfortable anal experience, make sure to lube yourself, your toy, and your partner up wherever applicable. We recommend using a thicker lube that provides more of a cushion during contact and helps prevent against tears. If silicone toys are being used, make sure to use a water-based or hybrid lube. So if you are using a toy and want to stay with water-based or hybrid, we always recommend Sutil Rich for anal play because of its thick consistency and the fact that it is pH balanced for the butt as well. So that's really great to use, and you can use that vaginally as well. We also really like Swiss Navy because it has clove in it, which actually relaxes the sphincter muscles. So that's a really good one to use. And Pure Annalise is a great lube. This one's going to be silicone based, so make sure not to use with any silicone toys. But that one is a great lube to use because it does stay on the surface of your skin longer. You won't have to reapply it quite as often. And we also have Intimate Earth Adventure Anal Relaxing Serum, which is also a really good thing to use to relax the sphincter muscles. And lastly, we have the Foria CBD Booty Melts, which help relax the sphincter muscles as well, which are really good. So those have CBD in them. And just a little bit of a side note, some people do ask us and come in the store and ask about numbing sprays and creams. We typically do not recommend those, and we do not carry any ourselves because we tend to feel like it's important to be able to feel what your body is telling you it's feeling. So if you're feeling pain, that's your body telling you you're probably pushing it too far. Maybe you need to take a break, go a little bit more gently, apply more lube, anything like that. So if you're not being able to feel that sensation, you're not going to know if your body needs something. So that's why we usually recommend not using those things and being able to feel those sensations that you're having. So what goes along with that is communicate with your partner about desires, boundaries, and comfort levels. Use gradual stimulation, starting with gentle external touches and slowly progressing towards more direct forms of butt play, which can help in reducing discomfort and increasing pleasure. Safety should always be the top priority when exploring butt play and pleasure. This begins with understanding how to prepare for anal sex to prevent discomfort and reduce the risk of injury. Proper preparation can include cleaning the area with something such as the douche. Anal douching is the practice of cleaning or flushing out the rectum by inserting a liquid into the butt, but it should really only clean out the first 8 to 10 inches. Many people who do douche choose to do so to minimize the mess during receptive anal stimulation. A lot of people ask how to douche and when to douche. A lot of it is just going to be personal preference about what makes you feel the most comfortable. We do have 2 different anal douches here. We have the douche one here that is a really great design. The nozzle goes all the way to the base, so you can use it in any position, including standing up, which makes it really nice and easy. It also has a backflow stop, so the liquid inside is not going to go in the wrong direction. They're also made in Brooklyn and LGBTQ owned, so we love them for that reason. And the other one that we have is going to be a smaller bulb, just a mini bulb here, but it comes with a solution. It's by Future Method, and this solution is actually made by a doctor, and it is formulated to rehydrate you during the douching process so that you don't get dehydrated during that process. And yeah, so we always recommend starting with smaller objects such as fingers to gently stretch the muscle in the area around the anus. It's crucial to listen to your body and stop if you feel any pain or discomfort. Dilators can be a really great thing to use to over time stretch the muscles. So we have this glass dilator set here. They're graduated, and we start small and we move up and have 3 different sizes. It comes in the set though, and they're great because I got them. They're great because they have really easy insertion, and you can use them with any type of lube because they are made of glass. So you can use them with silicone and all of that. There we go. Yeah, I'm not an octopus. I don't have that many hands. Okay. And then using condoms is still important. It helps in maintaining hygiene and also protects against sexually transmitted infections. Aftercare is also just as important, allowing for comfort and recovery after butt play. This might involve warm baths, gentle wipes, or simply resting to let the body recover. Something that we like to recommend too is our butt scrub, also from Future Method. So this is a perfect way to take care of your body after sexual activity or just whenever you're wanting to do some self-care. It has cedar and citrus and clove in it. And it can also help with acne, and it actually smells phenomenal. And they told us you can even use it over your entire body externally, even including on your face. And every individual's body reacts differently, so it's important to remember that what might require minimal preparation for some may require extensive preparation for others. Moving on to the last few toys. So one of the best things about anal toys is the sheer variety. From beginner butt plugs to more advanced anal probes, the versatility of anal toys ensures that there is a toy for you if you are in the market. On top of all the other benefits anal toys provide, it doesn't hurt that pretty much anyone with a butt can use an anal toy. Regardless of ability to get an erection, sexuality, or the parts that you have, anal play is open to everyone. So anal beads are going to be designed to stimulate both the inner and outer parts of the butt by moving in and out. You can insert them one at a time to create a feeling of fullness and then pull them out at a comfortable speed. They also stimulate the thousands of nerve endings in the sphincter muscles, and they produce pleasurable sensations in doing so. Some anal beads have consistently sized beads, while others have beads that gradually increase in size. And the gaps between the beads provide unique sensations that differ from those of a butt plug. For these also, timing is going to be essential in pulling them out. The closer you are to climax, the more intense your orgasm will feel. So we have the Romp Amp here that's great for beginners. It just has 3 small beads, so it's really good for just starting out. We also have the Anal Fantasy beads, which are really good for starting out because their bulbs are going to be more tapered, so have an easier time with insertion. And then dildos. Dildos come in a wide variety of sizes, styles, and materials, and can be used both vaginally as well as in the butt. They can be realistic or non-realistic, with vibrating functions or adaptability to insert a bullet, or designed for temperature play using stainless steel or glass. Some dildos are specifically designed for use with a harness for some strap-on fun too. So they'll have that flared base, ensuring that they don't get stuck in the anal cavity and keeping them attached to a harness if that's what's being used. And lastly, vibrators. They provide intense anal and prostate stimulation, offering a unique level of pleasure, and can be used anally and vaginally, so there's a wide variety of uses. Some anal vibrators are even remotely controlled, allowing your partner to have control over your orgasm. And that is all I have. Just reminding everybody that we have a ticketed workshop coming up a week from today that's going to be held at the Moxie. It is called Bet Your Ass, and it's going to be a deeper dive into everything that we talked about today. And now I will take any questions. If we have any questions live, let me see. Jennifer, do you have a question?
Yeah, so I have a question.
Yeah.
What is something that I have to, you mentioned the flared base. Can you show us like what that looks like and why
Absolutely.
That's important when you're putting that in your
Yeah,
butt?
so you can see with these plugs, they're gonna have this flared base right here. So when you are using them, they're gonna stay exactly where they need to be. Kind of your butt cheeks are gonna get caught right here so that it doesn't slip inside. Because if it just is this without the base, it definitely has the potential when you're playing, you're kind of moving around. It can easily, especially if you're using lube, which hopefully you are, it's going to get kind of slippery and it has the potential for slipping up. So you always want this flared base that's going to be here. That's kind of acts as a stopper and keeps it in place. Let me see if there's any questions on here. I don't see any. Does anybody have any questions on here, on the live? A lot of people on, actually. Hello. Hey, anything else? Okay, so if there's no other questions, there will be a discount code that's available until midnight on Sunday. You can use it in-store and online, and the code for that will be Booty24. And it's 10% off, so make sure to act on that. Thanks, everyone.